Okay, so basically, at the start of the Void Century, okay, or during the Void Century, right, there was a great war between the Ancient Kingdom and the 20 Kingdoms, right? And these 20 Kingdoms won, and they formed the world government, right? So 20 kings basically formed the world government. Okay, so the 10 Ryubito, or the world nobles, the celestial dragons, as said by what's his name, Papag, on chapter 497, are said to be the descendants of these 20 kings, correct? However, who are the actual heads of the world government? The Gorosei, right? Don't you think it's strange that though 20 kings formed the world government, there are only 5 heads of the government? Now, if we take the celestial dragons and the 5 Gorosei together, okay, would it be a stretch to say that the Gorosei are also descendants of the 20 kingdoms that form the world government? Not really, right? Because they're the actual heads of the government right now, meaning they essentially rule the entire world, correct? Okay, here's where it gets crazy, right? So we have 5 Gorosei, okay? This is the guessing part over here. There are 5 families that we know that have the letter D in them. They are the monkey family, so we have Luffy, Dragon, and Garp. So 3 people belong to the monkey family. We have the Portgas family with Ace and Rouge, who's his mother. So that's the second family. We have the Goal family, which is obviously Roger, third one. The Jaguar family with Saul, because the Vice Admiral who saved Robin on Ohara. And then we have the Marshall family, who obviously is Blackbeard. Monkey, Portgas, Goal, Jaguar, and Marshall, right? 5 families with the letter D, and 5 Gorosei. Might be a coincidence, but I'm thinking that the Gorosei, one of each, belong to one of these 5 families. I'm calling it right. That's my guess right now. Now, if we say that each one of these Gorosei belong to one of the D families, then by extension, we can say that the Gorosei are related to Monkey D. Luffy and Dragon. This might be why Dragon became a revolutionary, because he found something out about the world government, and he wanted to oppose them and essentially eventually destroy them, right? But if by extension these 5 families are related to the Gorosei, then by extension these 5 families belong to the 20 kingdoms that formed the world government. They were 5 of the 20. There are 15 other people. There were 15 other families out there that have either not been revealed or have become extinct. Okay. Now, just keep that in mind, and let's shift gears to the Poneglyphs. Okay. Now let's look at what Professor Clover said on, I believe it was chapter 395. Yeah. Okay. So basically, Clover said that the Poneglyphs, right? They're messages written on indestructible material, mineral ore. So, think about it. Why would someone in the past write a message on an indestructible material, okay? To convey that message to a future recipient, right? Because they feel that their message would eventually get destroyed or effaced or slandered or whatever. But if they left it on a poneglyph, future recipients could read it and try to understand it, okay? What could be so important that it could like transcend that many generations and that much time, right? It's a threat. There's some threat that's about to come, okay? Whoever is meant to receive it can read it. Whoever is meant to receive this message can read it, right? So there's something of huge proportions that's about to come. That's going to engulf the entire world, okay? Now, think about this. Who was the one that was said to have written these poneglyphs? The Ancient Kingdom, correct? Okay. So the Ancient Kingdom is said to have created this, okay? These poneglyphs. But what do we know about the Ancient Kingdom? It was an enormous landmass. It was a huge empire / kingdom, right? That took 20 kingdoms to oppose it, which means it was pretty damn powerful, right? Okay. The poneglyphs are in certain locations, okay? So we know one exists in Alabasta, in Alubarna, right? So that's one. We know one exists in Shandora, underneath the Golden Belfry, okay? There's a third one that exists in Ohara, where the Tree of Knowledge is, where the where the library is, right? And then there was another one that was Robin found, but we don't know where that is. It was like some alias place for. And then there's a fifth one, obviously, in Ryugu Kingdom on Fishman Island. Don't you think it's strange that even though these the ancient kingdom created it, that it is scattered across different islands? The mystery behind this is that the kingdom is shown to be one enormous empire. Keyword enormous. One landmass when Clover describes it. It's just shown to be one island. Just one, whole landmass. So, if the Poneglyphs were made by the ancient kingdom, why are they scattered at various locations in the Grand Line? Okay? It is possible that they could have been sent from the kingdom to each of these locations, but for the sake of this theory, I'm going to say that Shandora, Fishman Island, Alabasta, Ohara, like all of them, they were once part of the landmass that was the ancient kingdom. Okay? Now, what does this remind you of in real life? Pangea, right? That landmass that eventually broke into the several continents, correct? Okay. Now, there is a second option for all of this, okay? Let's suppose that it was not the ancient kingdom who created the Poneglyphs, okay? Let's suppose that it was the 20 kingdoms themselves who made this, right? Thus either indicating that they were originally part of the ancient kingdom, or they made the glyphs for future generations of royal government. So they made it for the purpose of the world government and not for the people. Okay? So, let's suppose that the Poneglyphs were made by the 20 kingdoms, okay? Who did we say before could be related to the 20 kingdoms? The 5 families with the letter D in them, right? Okay, so let's take Shandora, okay? What is Shandora's nickname? The City of Gold, right? What is the name of one of the families in the Will of D? Gold. What if Shandora was where the Gold family resided in ancient times? Whose name was inscribed on the Poneglyphs when Robin found it? Rogers. Ohara. Ohara is a land, right? It's an Irish surname. What was the main professor's name? Professor Clover. Okay, so wait. So let's take this all into consideration. We're supposing that the ancient kingdom, had Alabasta within itself. It had Ohara. It had Fishman Island. It had all these different cultures. Okay, it had different sort of cultures. Fishman Islands and deserts and royal kings and yada yada yada. Right? Okay. So it has all these things. Okay, so keep that in mind. It had this ancient kingdom. Let's for the sake of this situation, we're going to assume that it had like all these different cultures. Okay. Now, let's talk about trees. More specifically, let's talk about the treasure tree atom. So what's the treasure tree atom? The treasure tree atom is a tree which Frankie said he bought the bark for to create the Thousand Sunny. However, Frankie gave away a story for that tree. Frankie said in chapter 431 that the atom tree was one of the few surviving relics from a land ravaged by war. What does that sound familiar to you? Which landmass was involved in war? The ancient kingdom. There is a good chance that the atom tree is located in what was once the ancient kingdom. Okay, so we have the atom tree. For the sake of the situation, we're going to assume that it was in this this landmass called called the ancient kingdom. Okay. There are 2 other things, right? There is a tree called Eve, sunlight tree Eve. It stands above Fishman Island and Sabdi Archipelago. and it's a huge tree, just like Adam, is said to be. Okay. Adam and Eve in biblical in the Bible were known for doing was known for doing something famous. That famous thing was for going into was for stealing the apple, without God's notice. And thus they were like punished and stuff. So Adam and Eve, right? What was the name of the tree that they plucked the fruit from? The tree of knowledge. What is the name of the tree above Ohara? The tree of knowledge. So, we're going to assume that Eve and the tree of knowledge are somehow similar to this tree called Adam, okay? So, we have 3 trees, right? And like I said, we're assuming that the name, okay, we're assuming that Adam was existing during the time of the ancient kingdom. So we can also assume that Eve and the world and the tree of knowledge were also there as well, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be like, oh, they were all apart. They're big trees, right? They should be, somewhat be the same species, right? Okay, here's where it all comes together. We have 3 trees with biblical references in them, right? Adam, Eve, and the knowledge tree. And we have also, for the sake of this situation, also thought that Alabasta, Ohara, Shandora, like all of them were also part of the ancient kingdom, and thus they were added diversity to this kingdom. Okay, let us go to chapter 395, where Clover talks about this kingdom. He is shot for trying to reveal the name of this kingdom. So wait, I'll give you 10 seconds to try and guess the name of this kingdom, given what I've given you. Trees with biblical references and diversity. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi, 6 Mississippi, 7 Mississippi, 8 Mississippi, 9 Mississippi, 10 Mississippi. I think that the name of this ancient kingdom was Eden. What has Eden actually been known for, though? Like, what is the word Eden mostly been associated with? The Garden of Eden. Since we have trees in Adam and Eve and the knowledge tree, I believe that the Garden of Eden was a huge garden of these big ass trees. Now, the tree of knowledge, right? At least in biblical terms, what was it known for? For giving off forbidden fruit. Can you guess what the forbidden fruit was? Hint, hint. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. The devil fruits. So let's look at all the biblical references that we have right now. We have Adam, we have Eve, we have the knowledge tree. For the sake of this, we're going to say Eden, and we also have devil fruits. Okay? Adam and Eve were known for gaining the knowledge of good and evil from the knowledge tree after eating the forbidden fruit. And what do we know? The name of the tree above Ohara is called the tree of knowledge. Okay? Now, who grew the devil fruits? God himself, right? My guess of this, okay, my whole guess about this was that there was a man named, he can go by fine names. I gave Shanks only one name, but I'm gonna give you guys a couple more. This guy's name was either Devil, Dios or Deus, like the God name, and he was the one that grew these devil fruits and created the Poneglyphs. This guy, who whatever his name is, Devil, Dios or Deus, this guy was the king of the ancient kingdom that had been destroyed by the 20 kingdoms. Either that or he was affiliated with them somehow. And what do we know about devil fruits? When a user dies, his fruit is magically reborn into the world somewhere else, right? This and his messages that have stood the test of time, together collectively, they are known as the will of D. Okay, so now you guys must be wondering, like, how did Ohara, how did Alabasta, how did Fishman Island, how did they all separate from? How did they all separate, right, from the ancient kingdom? My guess is that, Frankie said that the land where the Adam tree had been destroyed was destroyed by gunfire and a rain of bullets. I think that there was some sort of weapon. I don't know if it's an ancient weapon, but there was some sort of weapon that was used to destroy the island and separate it into all these different islands that destroyed it and broke it up. Okay? And this weapon could also be used to put those islands back together and make it one piece. Alright. So now we need to address what Noah is going to do. Okay? Noah. Another biblical reference in Fishman Island. Okay. Noah, right? Noah's Ark has been known for saving species, right, from a great flood. What if this landmass, if the one piece is used to, bring it back together, the ancient kingdom, what if it was used to create this landmass and completely revamp the entire water mass? It joined the north, south, west, and east seas into something that is known as the all blue. Okay, and this is a little of a stretch because this has been said before, but the all blue, right? Jesus. What if the all blue was what causes a flood and Noah's Ark is used? Noah's Ark is used to save the rest of the world from this flood again. This can also go hand in hand with Roger's and Luffy's ability to hear the voice of all things. On Noah, remember how there's one of every species on it? What if I think that has something to do with the voice to hear all things. It was like the union of all species on the planet. Okay. Now, in terms of mythology and stuff, I looked at some of their names, right? Goal's translation is a Valkyrie from Norse mythology. Okay. Monkey D. Luffy has been known to act as Hanuman from Hinduism. What did Hanuman do? Hanuman thought that the sun was a fruit, and he tried to bring it down to earth. Who was his father figure? Vayu, the god of wind. Does that remind you of anyone? Who does it remind you of? Dragon, yes! Dragon. So, let's recap this real quick. There are 5 families with the name D, right? Goal, Monkey, Portcast, Jaguar, and Marshall. And there are 5 Gorosei. So, the 5 Gorosei, because they had the world government, I'm calling that they are also descendants of the world of the 20 kingdoms that destroyed the world government. And because there are 5 families with the letter D in them that we know today, those 5 Gorosei might be one of each of those 5 families, right? And because of this, because the monkey family was included, there was something that caused Dragon to become a revolutionary. Okay? So that's that. So the monkey family, Gull family, Portcast family, all these families were known for their oh wait, I didn't talk about the relationship between the devil Deus or whatever and his relationship with the 5 families. I think this devil guy was the one who created. I think this devil guy, right, was the one who helped propagate those 5 families. Now you must be asking, okay, wait, but you just said these 5 families, were part of the 20 kingdoms. Those 20 kingdoms were originally part of the landmass. So those 20 kingdoms were Shandora, Ohara, Alabasta, where the Tomb of Kings is located, Fishman Island, all those things, all those islands were once part of the 20 kingdoms, which were originally part of the ancient kingdom. Okay, so if they were originally part of that, what would cause them to revolt against the main ancient kingdom? What would cause them to break away? Well, like I just said, Hanuman was known for trying to bring the fruit back, right? Hanuman was a monkey humanoid. What if he was the one that helped devil grow these devil fruits? Or devil Deus, whatever this guy's name with the D was. What if he was the one who did this? And because of this, they decided to break away and try to fight him. Oh, and one more thing. What's on Fishman Island? The sea forest. Just throwing that out there. That could have been part of the Garden of Eden. Crazy. It's just straight up crazy. What else do I want to say? Yeah, I talked about Shandora and the gold family. How Shandora was the city of gold and the gold D. Okay. Right? So I talked about that. What was that? The Garden of Eden? Yeah. So we talked about the Garden of Eden. Sorry, I'm reading off my my Skype chat with Shanks when I told him this last night. And I told you how the name of this ancient kingdom could have been Eden, or in this case paradise, because of all the different cultures and everything. Oh, and the 3 ancient weapons. So, what if the 20 kingdoms themselves created these 3 weapons, Poseidon, Uranus, and Pluton, to combat however strong Eden itself was, because they knew they were going to be destroyed, right? They created things named by Greek gods, but yet there's biblical references also. It might have been a quote-unquote battle of gods sort of thing. There in Hinduism, there's this god known as Varuna, Varuna, and he is known as the god of the sky, water, and the underworld. Does that remind you of anything? Uranus was one of the Greek gods of the sky. Poseidon was the Greek god of the ocean, and Hades was the Greek god of the underworld. And Hades was a substitute name for Pluton. Not to mention, this guy was also the god of the celestial ocean and the law. Celestial nobles, world dragons, hello. And now that we have that, what is the structure, circling the Ryugu kingdom, circling Neptune's kingdom? A dragon. The forbidden fruit part, dude. I'm telling you. Bayu, the god of wind, was Hanuman's, who's in this case Luffy, his father figure, and dragon, yo. I'm just saying. I feel like I didn't explain this great enough, but I guess if you guys have questions, you guys can just like ask me or whatever. Mm-hmm. Okay. What if the voice to hear all things was on that ship Noah? Because the ability to hear everything came from it. Because every single species of life was on it. Oh my gosh. Yo. Mm-hmm. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Yo. But yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it.